Very good afternoon to all the panelists out here and also to the participants who all are here today for the Asian Development Bank Train the Trainers Program 2020. So on this note, I would first request our Honorable Director, Gujarat National Law University, who has been recently elected to represent South and West Asia at the IUCN Academy of Environmental Law, Chair of Environmental Law Study Group of the International Association of Law Schools and member of the Teaching and Capacity Building Committee of the IUCN Academy of the Environmental Law. He is also serving as the country focal point for the India for the Asian Development Bank project on environment and climate change law. Apart from that, he has executed the Environmental Law Capacity Building project funded by the World Bank through CIRA NLSIU. Apart from this, he has done a lot, and he's also the prestigious awards like the Environmental Law Champions Award from the ADP Philippines and also the Best Social Scientist Award from the Indian Society of Criminology. On this note, I now request our Honorable Director to kindly give the welcome address. Sir, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mrinalini. Congratulations to each one of you for being selected to this very prestigious and very important Train the Trainer program being offered by the Asian Development Bank and in association with the Gujarat National Law University and the Center for Law and Governance of Jawaharlal Nehru University. So this is a training program on teaching environmental law. This is almost like a mentoring program where you will be meeting during the rest few days. A lot of mentors who have contributed in this subject, in this discipline, who will be coming on screen and who will be talking to all of you on various topics. So, in fact, this preparatory meeting is to prepare all of you for the actual meeting which is going to start from this Sunday onwards. So this is basically the object of this meeting is to introduce you to the team behind this ETTT program and to introduce you to the program, the complete program for the next 7 days, and also to introduce you to various sessions wherein you need to volunteer and where your participation is required. And apart from that, there are certain issues related to technology that we want all of you to be familiar with, so that there are no hiccups in joining this program. For example, today we thought that we will start this session at 4 o'clock, but it is now 4:15. Till now, we are not able to start the program because of various reasons. Someone joining, someone exiting, because various technical glitches might be there. Now, this is an opportunity for all of us to learn to use this platform and to also see that how we can best use this opportunity. Right. So my role is to welcome all of you to this preparatory meeting and to thank you for applying for this ETTT program and to congratulate each one of you for being selected to this ETTT program. Now I will introduce my team, the team present here. We have with us Matthew Bird. Matthew Bird, can you just show your hands, Matthew? I hope all of you can see. So Matthew Bird is the actual brain behind this program. He's the hub connecting all of us to the ADB. In fact, he had spent so many weeks in designing this course. Is a globally renowned environmental law lawyer, and please visit his homepage, his website, to know the kind of work that he had done and the kind of experiences that he had done. So he is going to be the mentor for all of us for this TTT program, and he is going to be with us all the 7 days, guiding us throughout, and he will be, in fact, anchoring this program completely. So this is Matthew Bird, and thanks to Matthew Bird for joining us and for helping us organize this ETTT program. Without your support and your guidance, I'm sure that we would not have come this far. Now I have 3 colleagues from ADB joining us today. We have Christina Valles. Christina Valles you will not be able to see her. She works always behind the screen, and today also she is behind the screen, and she has joined us, though she is not visible to all of us. Christina Valles is there from Asian Development Bank. Angelo is there, whom you can see on screen. Angelo is from ADB, and he is going to provide all kind of technical support to see that this program goes on very well. In fact, he is going to talk about, he is going to show you videos on this ADB TTT program and various other activities that what ADB is, this technical assistant project is involved. Then we have with us Amy, who is taking care of all the logistic support for all of us, and she's providing all administrative support required from ADB side to ensure that this program goes on very smoothly. So this is from the ADB team. I am still waiting for another colleague from JNU, Dr. Nupur Chowdhury. She's an assistant professor at the School of Law and Governance at the Jawaharlal Nehru University. Yeah, I can now see Dr. Nupur has joined us. Now, with this brief introduction, of course, you will be meeting all of us every day. We will be playing different roles each day. So this is just a formal introduction on this preparatory day. So with this, I would now request Angelo to briefly present us a video of ADB's contribution in this environmental law field as far as training the teachers are concerned. And after that, we will have, I think, yes, after that, Dr. Nupur will be discussing with the participants about this program in detail. Matthew, would you like to want to say something before Angelo gives his introductory video?
Thank you very much, Professor Sanjeevi. And good afternoon to everyone. My name is Matthew Baird. I'm an environmental lawyer. I'm an Australian environmental lawyer, but I've been living and working within Thailand and Southeast Asia for the last 10 years, and in that time have been involved a lot with the Asian Development Bank Train the Teachers program. And I may have to correct the record that in fact this ETTT, which is the first time we have tried to do an online Train the Teachers for our environmental law champions, is in fact the brainchild of both Professor Sanjeevi and Dr. Nupur. I am more of a technician to provide some assistance, and indeed it is a credit to Professor Sanjeevi, Dr. Nupur, that they have brought you all together. And I would like to congratulate you on behalf of the ADB team for your applications and being selected to this program. It's going to be a challenge for us with this technology. Normally we do things in the real, and yet at this stage, both using the technology and because of the COVID and what we think of will be a post-COVID environment, this is part of the learning experience. But I also, before we want to show the video that explains the Train the Teachers program that has been going on for a number of years in a number of different locations, Thailand, Philippines, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Indonesia, China, and now India online. Before we do that, I would just like to say what an honor it is to be here with you all. When I first started practicing as an environmental public interest lawyer in the early 90s, I was very privileged to go to Sri Lanka to attend a public interest environmental law conference, where I met some extraordinary Indian environmental lawyers, and one of the great environmental lawyers that I met, MC Mehta, taught me the extraordinary value of Indian public interest environmental law and the great contributions that have been made by Indian lawyers to environmental law in India. And academics teaching environmental law is so fundamental to ensuring that we graduate good lawyers and good students, good judges, good regulators. So the train the teachers and the role of academics is fundamental and vital to the development of good environmental lawyers. And one of the things that we do know is that we are currently facing significant challenges. 21 years ago, when I was talking to a number of environmental lawyers from India, the region, we had this great sense of optimism. We have now seen the challenges to environment, the challenges and the destruction not only of climate change, but of biodiversity loss, species extinction, pollution, urban sprawl and urban development, poverty causing significant environmental degradation, all of these issues that now form that corpus of environmental law. So this is a challenge for us all, both as environmental lawyers and environmental law academics. But I just wanted to say that I am extraordinarily privileged and feel very, very lucky to be here. And I really would like to thank Dr. Nupur, Professor Sanjeevi, and all their support for allowing this project to come to fruition as it will on Sunday. So Angelo, I'd now like, if you have the video, if
Yes.
people could pay attention, and we'll play the short video. It's about 4 minutes long about the Environmental Law Champions and TTT program. Thank you.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Be playing this now.
Angelo, there is no audio.
Yes, I'm fixing that right now. Some of the challenges that we have regarding technology. All right. Okay, so I will be doing this. Okay. One. My apologies. I've run into a technical glitch with my player. It's
So Angelo, maybe we'll just
yeah. We can. Sure, go ahead.
And this is one of the things that I think over the next 7 days we'll explore, using technology and taking advantage of it, but also recognizing that it can have some limitations. So while Angelo is fixing that, perhaps Dr. Nupur, you might like to just introduce the program itself.
Yes. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Matthew, for the introduction. My name is Dr. Nupur Chaudhary. I'm working in the Center for the Study of Law and Governance in JNU, and we are delighted to collaborate with JNLU and EDB and UNEP to host this program.
Yeah, just no things. Yeah.
I think there's some audio coming in from somewhere. I'm not sure.
Mrinalini, can you mute this? Yeah. Can I request all the participants to please?
So I am muting all other participants apart from Nupur at present,
Yes.
right, sir?
Yes.
Sure, it will be done.
Right. Okay. So I'm just going to introduce to you how the program has been developed. It's a 7-day program starting on Sunday and to the next Saturday, from 22nd to the 28th. Now I'm presuming that you have a copy of the program with you. It's been emailed to you, right? Or you've been sent the website on which the program is available. So the first day that we start.
I think, Nupur, I think I could not see anyone nodding their head.
So have
They
you
must not have received the. You haven't received the program schedule?
can any one of you tell me if you
No,
received?
sir. Participants are yet to receive the program schedule.
No, sir. We have not
No,
received
sir, we
any.
haven't.
Okay. Then in that case, Angelo is here. Can we ask Angelo to share it?
If you go on the chat, you will see the link to the outline.
Yes,
Maybe
yes,
you can
yes.
click on it and just open it. So I can then talk you through the program.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
Perfect.
sure.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks. Yeah. Right. So the program would be starting every day at around 3, and it will, there's a break between 4:30 and 4:50. And then again, we resume at 4:50 to continue till 6:15, right? So it's a program between 3 and 6:15, right? Now, the first session, as you will see, all of the, there's an afternoon session and then there's a post-afternoon session, evening session, you can call it. So the opening session, we'll have an introduction in which we'll generally be talking you through the program and the format. To an extent, that's already being done today, but some of it will be done again. And then we have a first session where we'll have an introduction by on the state of environmental law. We have 2 excellent speakers. Shyam Devan, as you know, the senior advocate in the Supreme Court, and we have Justice Swatantra Kumar, who was the ex-chairperson of the NGT. Both of them will be talking to you about the state of environmental law in India. And as you see, all of the pod sessions, which is session 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13, 13 to all of the sessions, the first sessions, you see are on substantive topics, right? So we have the first session opening in. The second session would be on teaching environmental law the next decade. Here we'll be discussing essentially pedagogical issues with teaching environmental law with specific discussion on technology and access. These are 2 things that we are now confronted with in times of COVID, and that's something that we'll be discussing. We have Professor Amanda Kennedy from Queensland University of Technology and Rose Lisa, who is the current chair of the IUCN Academy on Environmental Law. Both of them will be speaking on online teaching. And I think this is of specific interest because all of us are facing this issue currently. Right? So we move to the day 2. Now the day 2, session 3, we have a substantive session where we have we have the panel which is on whether the NGT has been successful in addressing environmental harm in India. We have 3 excellent speakers. Mr. Sudhir Mishra, an environmental lawyer, Navneet Vibhav, again an environmental lawyer, and Professor M. Ramesh from NLSIU, Bangalore. Right. Session 4, we have a syllabus workshop, which is essentially participants presenting 3 or to 4, depending on the nature of interest. So we need volunteers for this session who would be presenting their own idea of what is an environmental law syllabus. As you know, environmental law is a mandatory subject, but teachers have sufficient discretion in designing their own syllabuses. So we would want volunteers to present their idea of a syllabus precisely because environmental law is so broad and expansive. So how do you make a choice between, say, how much of environmental law domestic vis-a-vis international environmental law? What are the specific areas that you emphasize on? We want to have a syllabus development workshop on session 4. Session 5 again is the idea is to actually introduce you to the fact that environmental law as a discipline requires multidisciplinary focus. So it is to introduce you to 3 researchers who have who look at this discipline from different other disciplinary perspectives. So we have Dr. Roy, who uses a lot of law and economics approach. So if you look at the compendium that has been shared with you, his thesis was actually a law and economics approach to climate change emissions. That would be an interesting, how do you use a law and economics approach to teach environmental law? And we have Professor Indra Munshi, a sociologist who looks at environmental issues, and Dr. Lavanya who is a political scientist. So that's something that we should also be looking at, how to use other disciplinary resources when we are teaching environmental law. So that session is to address that objective. Session 6 so session 6 and 10 is an opportunity for, that we want participants. Again, it's a session where participants take a lead in presenting to whoever wishes to volunteer and wants to present any of, say, if you have a research that you're currently working on, a draft paper that you're working on that you would wish to present, we would really like that we welcome you to do that, to actually volunteer for that session. Both session 6 and session 10 is when you volunteer to present your own research that is under development. So not published research, but research that is under development, and that you present it, and we actually curate panels and we can give you comments on your research, right? So that is something that we would again ask for volunteers from. Then we go on to session 7 is again a substantive panel in which we have on pollution control regulation. So we'll have a 3rd speaker. There's still another spot that is open. But we have Shivani Ghosh and Dhwani Mehta. Now, both of them, I'm sure you're aware of it. Shivani just is again an environmental lawyer, works, both litigates as well as researches with the Center for Policy Research. And she's actually just very recently, she's authored a chapter on environmental regulation, which looks at SPCB and CPCB, just the regulators, how they are this thing, in a book which looks at regulation in general. She's authored a chapter on environmental regulation. That is also part of the compendium, which is available to you on this website, which has been shared by Matthew with everybody. And Vidhi, as you know, has been working on environmental regulation, and Dhwani actually leads the track on environmental regulation. So she's been speaking. We expect a 3rd speaker from CSC, specifically to talk about the new ordinance on air pollution that has just been issued by the executive, right? And we have Dr. Sairam Bhatt, very renowned Professor Sairam Bhatt, sorry, who's working on it, who heads CIRA, which is the Center for Environmental Law Research in NLSIU Bangalore. He'll be moderating that session. Session 8 is again, because it's a session in which we have experts coming in to talk about their experience about environmental law clinics, which they have anchored within their institutions. So we have Professor Sairam Bhatt again, Professor Abhairaj Nayak from Azim Premji University, and Professor Ajay Pandey from JGLS. All these 3 people have had long experience in running environmental law clinics in their institution. And we also have 2 other speakers from the Mekong region, Professor Hung Bon Yun and Dr. Lloyd from UNEP, to give you an international perspective on how environmental law clinics should be institutionalized, what are the experiences, what are the challenges. Because very often environmental law clinics are often very successful, but often also fail to take off in certain institutions. So we would like, that session is on the design, the experience and challenges on environmental law clinics. Now, session 9, that was session 8. Session 9 again is a substantive panel on forest and biodiversity regulation in India and abroad. So we have Dr. Prodipta Ghosh, who some of you may know, he's a distinguished fellow in TERI currently, and he used to be the ex-secretary in MOEF. Long experience again on forest regulation, and he would be there. Then we have Kalp Briksh from Kalp Briksh. We have 2 excellent speakers, Meenal and Nima. who will be talking about Culbricht's work on regulation of biodiversity specifically, because they were one of the Culbricht actually came up with two what they call bills, the forest rights and as well as the biodiversity bill were actually something that Culbricht had worked on. And we have Patty Moore, who's worked a lot with UNEP IUCN and is an international environmental law consultant, who will also be talking about the biodiversity regulation and forest regulation from the international perspective. Now, session 10, as I said, session 10 and session 6 is where new research this is some voluntary, we need volunteers and who would be presenting their research. Session 11 is essentially about environmental law in Asia. We want to introduce you to a whole range of perspectives from the Southeast Asia. So we have from Malaysia, Thailand, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, Philippines, and Cambodia. Excellent panel, actually, to introduce you to what is happening in other Southeast Asian on environmental law, what is happening in other Southeast Asian jurisdictions. Session 12 is here again, we need volunteers. We have an excellent speaker, Dr. Deepa Badrinarayan. I'm sure some of you read her work. She's in Chapman University, and she has worked a lot on the US-India comparative law perspective. She's an excellent speaker to talk about comparative environmental law generally, and also we've also asked her to look at how, from the perspective of how to publish in US environmental law journals. That's something that she'll also be speaking on. And here again, we need volunteers who would like to discuss or comment about their own research and also their syllabuses. When they design their own research or syllabuses, how much do they look at other jurisdictions? To research or work on comparative law, how much of how do they look at other jurisdictions? What are the challenges they face? So that's a session where we also would welcome and invite volunteers to sign up to reflect on this issue. Session 13 on environmental law research and writing. Essentially, here we've invited 4 academics. Professor Bharat Desai, I'm sure many of you know about him from JNU. Dr. Sujit Kannan, who's in Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, but also is the editor of LEAD, one of the journals, environmental law journals. Professor Kamena Gunaratne from Open University in Sri Lanka, and Professor Amanda Kennedy from Queensland University of Technology. All 4 of them. This is a much more where these 4 speakers reflect on their own journeys, in terms of how they came up about researching, their own teaching, what are the problems they faced, how to approach environmental law research, what are the journals to choose, when to ask for feedback, peer review. So these, just to introduce you to their own personal journeys and what their own reflections on environmental law research and writing. Now, session 15, the final session, session 14, I can't have 15 because that would be the 8th day. I'm sure you would have enough of us by then. Hopefully, we'll still be able to keep your interest alive, because session 14, I think, is fantastic, because we have a special lecture by Professor Upendra Bakshi. I'm sure all of you know him. No need for me to introduce, but here you would look at environmental law in the Anthropocene. Now, they're very he's amongst the few scholars in India who've actually looked at how the discipline needs to be reformed, reimagined to look at the challenge of the Anthropocene. So that's the lecture that Professor Bakshi would be giving. And we have another fantastic speaker, Professor Dr. B.B. Mathur, who's currently the chairperson of the National Biodiversity Authority, who will be talking about nature conservation in India and the challenges from a regulatory perspective. And then we have the closing ceremony, finally. So I think more or less this is a jam-packed session, but I'm sure we'll be able to hold your interest. Also, because this is not something that's just a one-way street. We would really like to have each of these sessions have a time left for Q&A, and also we have we'll have throughout the day, there'll be a feedback mechanism that is available to you. Right. So yeah, more or less, that's the structure of the program. Yeah, I think I'll hand it over to now Professor Shantakumar. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think maybe we can request Matthew to talk few things about the syllabus review session, and where you would need volunteers. Maybe if Matthew can explain to the participants about that.
Thank you very much, Professor. So as Dr. Nabor said, we need some volunteers, and I know you're all wonderful to volunteer. If you have an undergraduate environmental law syllabus that you're using and that you'd like to either put it forward as a good practice, something that you'd like to improve, looking for 3 examples, and you need something that we could share in a PDF format that then we can discuss and go through. In times past, we've done actually a curriculum development, but this time we've thought, because you do have experience in environmental law teaching, we would try and use existing syllabi that we could also upgrade or look at ways of improving, and also whether it's fit for the new online age as we're talking about. What I would request, both for this and for the other sessions that Dr. Nabor has mentioned in terms of research as well, new research, if you can see the chat box, that you can send a message either to me or to the group with your name, and we will contact you, and then we'll ask you for a copy of the syllabus. We'll also send an email to everyone, and you can send it, and we'll distribute that in a PDF form. Again, it's designed to look at existing syllabus and then work out, are they good in the this new age of online teaching, and are there issues that we can assist in terms of modifying and upgrading. The same also in terms of a number of the issues that have been mentioned for the discussions on research. The aim here is very much like the session on developing potentially a mentoring program for environmental law academics, was something that has been identified before, of the need for national academics to be writing about their national laws. And it was made at another forum in Myanmar, why a lot of Asian environmental law or Southeast Asian environmental law was actually written by non-Southeast Asian academics, by other international academics. So looking at that idea of collaborating both for the syllabus, for the research, and then ultimately for academic writing as a way of skilling up environmental law professionals. So I would also ask, just in terms of the management of the event as we proceed through the TTT, is to use the chat box to write questions or to make comments, to be as interactive as possible, and also to note that in this Cisco WebEx form, there is a capacity to, if you move your mouse over the your name in the participants list, you can raise your hand, which is to attract the attention of the moderators during the sessions. So yes, as Professor Sanjeevi has done, and then he can be called upon as a way of structuring. We are trying as best as possible to ensure that the whole sessions are as interactive with as much participation from all the participants and questions. Some of that may be oral, and others it might be valuable just to write a question. But for now, if you have a syllabus or you have some research, and you want to think about that, and please, you can send us an email. I think you have the email addresses. If you send us an email, and then we can also send out another email on Friday and Saturday to identify who might be participating in those first sessions, which will be on the Monday the 23rd, which is the first sort of audience participation sessions. So, Professor Sanjeevi, and can I also say just one other matter that may be of great assistance over the next 8 days. I know we'll be going into some participants' self-introduction. What I might ask is if in this format, when you join, you can write your name as you would like to be addressed. It will be very difficult for us all perhaps to be too formal, but if you have a name or a nickname that we can address you, or we can respond, or others can respond to questions, we can change our names, I think, in the when we join in our visual box. That at least then will enable us to be able to quickly identify someone without causing offence. So if when you rejoin on Sunday, you're able to put your preferred name of address, that would be very, very beneficial to us all. Thank you very much, Professor Sanjeevi.
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. In fact, that's a very important request from all of us. So when you are logging in, log in with your first name, the name by which you would want us to call you, so that it's easy, because most of the time the resource persons will be from outside the country and they'll not be comfortable pronouncing our full names. So it will be nice if you can just give, I can see, Tony. I think only Tony should be sufficient if Tony agrees. Right. Or Shruti can say, instead of writing Shruti Kakkar fully, she can write Shruti, and likewise. So that's an important request. So when you're logging in next time, please give your short name, the first name, the name by which you want all of us to call. Right. So that is about this. I think, Dr. Nupur had very exhaustively covered this program for the next 7 days, session by session, by even telling about the speaker, what they will be doing in each of these sessions. And now I think it's time to move towards the participants. Now I would request each one of you, the participants who have been selected for this program, to please come online. I think maybe from the participants list, let me call by your name, and then the person whom I am calling, you can introduce yourself so that the other participants will also get an opportunity to know about you. So I would want you to tell your name, your highest qualification, your work experience, and your current affiliation, or what you are exactly doing right now. So this is what we want to you to ask. And one more thing is, what do you expect from this ETT? Like, what is your expectation from this program? Because we need to know, that is why we had this preparatory meeting, so that if there is anything that we can do to meet your expectations, we would want to do that. So that will be nice if you can tell about you, your name, your qualifications, your work experience, your affiliations, the university or the college or wherever you are currently teaching, and then finally your expectations from this TTT. So can we have who's there? Top. I can see Deepa Shri. So Deepa Shri, what is this number 5270?
Sir, that is the employee ID, because we
Okay.
use the same WebEx, and
Okay.
I should sign in with the employee ID. That's why. Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to change it to Deepa in the next
Okay.
session.
Yeah, okay.
My name is Deepashriya Prasad, and my highest qualification is LLM, and my specialization is in environmental laws. And I graduated from University Law College. I've been in this teaching profession for more than 7 years. I currently teach in Cale University College of Law, and environmental law is one of the subjects that I teach. And since it is my specialization also, because of my passion towards environmental law, when it was at its infancy, I joined for masters, specializing in the same subject. So my expectation is to learn something from this workshop, which I hadn't come across before. So specifically, I cannot, but then this is my expectation, learning experience. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Deepa.
Thank
So
you, sir.
now
Thank you
we
very
move
much.
on to Aditi Nidhi. Aditi Nidhi is there?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir. Sir, due to some network issue, my video is not working. I apologize for that. Hello, I'm audible,
Yes,
sir?
yes, Aditi,
Yes.
you can introduce
Yes.
yourself. Go ahead and
Yes. Good evening to one and all present here. I am Aditi Nidhi. My highest qualification is LLM from HNLU Raipur. Currently, I am working as an assistant professor at Christ University, Bangalore. My expectation with this program is basically I want to learn how to teach the basics of environmental law to the students. And also, as I'm teaching environmental law at my institution, I want to know the professional volunteering and the campaign aspects, which should be focused upon more in order to take it forward to the students as well as the other academicians.
okay. Thank you, Aditi. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to this program.
Thank you
Next,
so much.
Adya. Adya. Please repeat. Yeah, the audio we can't.
Am I audible now?
Yes, Adya. Yes.
I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
Yes, yes, okay. So my name is Adya. I am currently assistant professor of law in Zindal Global Law School, OP Zindal Global University. My highest qualification as well is an LLM. I have done it from University of Reading. My expectation from this course actually is, first of all, obviously to make the curriculum that I'm teaching much more relevant for the current because I just want to develop it more into something that suits the needs of the students, because we are teaching 4th years generally, and to make it much more practical oriented or tweak it in a manner that interests them, first of all, and second, to also work on a separate curriculum that can be dedicated to climate change and sustainable development as such. I think that is broadly something that I'm looking at, and learning it through, obviously, experienced professionals who will be joining us. So that's about it.
Thank you, Adya. Thank you. So next, Adya Surbi. Adya Surbi is there?
I think she just spoke. Oh.
Is it the same candidate? Okay, then Adya, you have joined twice?
Yes, actually, I'm joined from 2 systems because
okay.
internet is just fluctuating. Okay. So
okay.
just to deal with that.
Then we'll move ahead to Akshaya.
Hello
Akshaya,
everyone. Yes, hello everyone. My name is Akshaya Desai. My highest qualification is LLM. I have done it in human rights from SNDT University, Mumbai. My work experience is 6 years, and the seventh is going on. I'm affiliated with Amity University, Mumbai, and my expectations from this course is basically to learn more about environmental law, because environmental law has been one of my favorite subjects, and I have taught it last year. This year I'm not teaching the subject, but I've taught it last year, and I wanted to learn more as to how exactly the subject to be taught, and the current developments the same.
Okay, thank you, Akshay. Welcome to this program. Next, we have Anju Pandey. Anju Pandey is there?
Yes, sir.
Anju?
Anji, sir.
She had logged in from 3 systems. Yes.
Hello, one and all. First of all, thankful to the I'm in UPS, Dehradun. Here I am a sir. I have only experience. And for environment last year, application of this for this any is to know so yeah.
Great. Thank you, Anju. Anju, why did you log in through systems? Any specific reason? Not able to hear you. Again, not able to hear you.
Ma'am, you need to unmute yourself.
Yes, actually. Find my mobile, but so right now I am.
Oh, okay. Okay. No issues. Just wanted to understand why you logged in.
Yes.
Okay. Next we have Aprajita Singh.
Good evening, everyone. So I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yes, Aprajita, yes.
It's in fact a nice feeling to join this Train the Training program. I have done my master's, so highest degree that currently I have is master's. Apart from this, I'm also pursuing my PhD in environmental law area. So that's one of the areas, like I'm always looking forward to any conference, any seminar, any aspect where I can get to contact people who can help me out to understand this subject better, to get in contact with the people who know this subject better than me. That's one of the things that I look forward to every conference or session that happens. And I think this one is also going to help me to achieve the same perspective. I have been in teaching profession for 7 years. It's close to 7 years. And I have taught this subject quite lot semesters. But one of the challenges that I have faced while teaching this subject is there are so many legislations as far as India is concerned. So my challenge comes as to how to make the students understand this subject, at the same time make them understand all the provisions, because as a teacher I always find it as a challenge how to make the student understand the soul of the environmental law as a subject, so that they see this subject more from a critical perspective rather than just seeing it as one of the other subjects, because the very existence of human being is dependent on environment. In fact, in the corona times, I think we have realized this more. So I feel like that, and this is the challenge also is like when you teach the millennial generations, right? They are they want some new methodology to be taught with, and especially in the online teaching, I'm facing a lot of challenge to make it more interesting. So maybe I'm looking forward to some new ways of teaching this subject, at the same time making it more relevant and making it understand that this is one of the subjects that's really important for humanity as a whole, and as a lawyer they have a very important role to play when it comes to it. So those are the aspects I am looking forward to, and I'm also looking forward to if it can be of help, like the research area in which I'm working. So that's it from my side, and let's see with the coming week how much we interact with each other and how well we get to know all those dimensions.
Thank you, Aparajita. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
think we have next Bhumika Sharma. Bhumika Sharma is there.
Good
Bhumika
evening.
Sharma?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I have done my LLM from Himachal Pradesh University, and that is my highest qualification. Currently, I am teaching at Jagran School of Law, Dehradun, and I expect to learn the comparative perspective of the changing environmental law from this program.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhumika. So can we have Charan?
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Charan, you are audible.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Charan. My highest qualification is LLM from University, and currently I'm working as assistant professor at Christ University, Bangalore. And prior to doing my post-graduation, I practiced for almost 3 years in NGT, National Green Tribunal Southern Zone, and as well as briefly in front of Green Bench at High Court of Madras. And I practiced both as part of a private litigant in terms of environmental law, as well as representing counsel for the Office of Government Pleader, State of Tamil Nadu, and also the National State Coastal Zone Management Authority at that time. And my expectations from this program is that what I've seen by teaching is that there is a sort of a gap between what is being taught, the academic learning, as well as the practical part of application of those environmental law or whatever it is. So in this part of this program, what I do try to expect is to find a way how I can bridge the gap between the academia as well as the practice, particularly in terms of coming up with a pedagogy for clinical education.
Right. Thank you, Charan. Next, I think we have Devi. Sorry, Devi Lal.
I am audible, sir?
Yes, yes.
Hi, my name is Devi Lal. I will study my LLB from Rajasthan University, Jaipur. Rao Phule University, Jaipur. Currently, I have teaching environmental law in Asapurna Law College, Jalore. Can I hello?
Yes, Devi Lal, yes.
Sir, is this the trainers program is a great initiative by future generation, because everyone know about environmental law and environmental issue, not only on earth but also on space. There is a rage pollution. Everyone know about the radiation in infrastructure and everywhere air. So it is our responsibility, those who taught environmental law in university and college. I am also preparing my student for NGT, National Green Tribunal.
Okay.
Student, there is any issue about environmental clearance and also all aviation and marine law. Environmental law is a collaboration of many laws.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Devilal. Next is Dr. Amandeep Singh.
Very good evening to one and all. My name is Dr. Amandeep Singh. I'm teaching at Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia National Law University from past 7 years now. And though I did my highest qualification is PhD, though I did that in film censorship, but one of the subject which I'm teaching since my joining here, that is environment law. And nothing is in isolation. There is a reason why I have joined this program. And the main reason was that to update myself. And there are many issues. And again, which I think that in spite of teaching from so many years, that I need to enrich myself. I need to understand more. And there are many key concepts, and especially climate change, the issues, the challenges which we are facing in this regard. And one of the primary reason to join this is to understand what is happening regarding climate change and other burning issues. So,
thank you, Dr. Raman. Next, Dr. Shivakumar. Dr. Shivakumar.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Hello. Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, but a bit low. Volume is very good.
Oh.
Yeah, now you can hear it.
Sir, this is Shivakumar, Karnataka. So there is a network problem. Yes, sir. I have. Yes, sir. I have studied environmental law. Completed my PhD in environmental law. I was teaching environmental law for the PG student. Through this program, let me just understand and let me learn the various aspects and various new dimensions, so that I can import more knowledge out various environmental assessment and air-related the new dimensions of environmental law. So this is what, sir, I expect from.
Yeah, I think, but we could not get to the last part very clearly, Dr. Shivakumar. Can I request Dr. Amandeep to switch off his mic? I think I can hear. Dr. Amandeep? Yes, thank you. Dr. Shivakumar, we could not hear you properly. Can you just say the last line, what you are mentioning about the expectations?
Yes, sir. I'm teaching environment for the PG students since 5 years.
Okay.
Through this program, just I wanted to learn new dimensions of environmental law, so that I can teach, I can import more knowledge to the PG students. Because while teaching for the PG students and UG students, there is a lot of the different to understand. I wanted to attend this kind of program so that I can teach more knowledge and I can import more knowledge into the PG students.
So where are you teaching, Dr. Shivakumar? Where are you teaching?
PG Department of Studies in La Karnataka University, Dharwad.
Dharwad, okay. Thank you, Dr. Shivakumar. Yeah, can we have Dr. Smita Pandey?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is Dr. Smita Pandey, sir, from Symbiosis Law School, Pune. And I am assistant professor over there. I am teaching environmental law since last 4 years. My highest degree is PhD, although it is not in environmental law, but I got hooked to it at a point of time. And I have yet to learn a lot about climate change and the issues related to it and how to find the solutions. So it has a multifaceted issues, and therefore this program fascinated me enough. And I'm thankful to my director to allow me to attend this program. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you for allowing me to actually attend this program. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So next is we have Jitin. Jitin Vijay. Jitin, we are not able to hear you.
I think, sir, if you remove your headphone, I mean, then only we can hear you because your headphone is not sync with this, your system, sir.
Not able to hear you, Jitin. Yeah. I think you need to remove your headphones.
Sir,
And speak. Yeah.
yeah. Unplug your headphones, sir. Then only we would be able to hear you.
Not able to hear you, Jitin.
Sir, increase the
Yeah.
volume of your system, sir. The main system which you're using, whether it's a PC or a laptop, it has its volume thing. So just try to increase it. It may be that your volume is low at their end. Not happening, sir.
So Jitin, just try some more time. I think we will come back to you.
Sure.
Yeah. Who said sure? No.
Jitin sir said yours, sir.
Jitin, that we could hear you. Yeah, now we can hear you smiling also. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The mic is so sharp.
Yeah, sorry for this technical glitch and delay.
No. In fact, this preparatory session is meant for that one only.
Yeah.
So don't feel sorry about it.
Okay.
Because we are all new to this technological world and we are all, in fact, forced by Corona and COVID into this situation. So this is to learn. Yeah. So don't feel sorry about it. Please. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Jitin, and my highest qualification is PhD, and I also have a master's degree in environmental law, and I'm much interested in learning and teaching environmental law. I'm affiliated with the Alliance University, Bangalore for the last 2.5 years. And I taught environmental law for the last 2 academic years here. My expectation from this course is something connected with the improvement in terms of the knowledge and the updated information with respect to the environmental law, as well as to have certain improvement in the pedagogical approaches in teaching environmental law. So that is what my primary expectation is.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
So now you found out the reason why we were not able to listen to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So next we have Muni.
Very good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I hope all are fine. And
Yes.
sir, this is Moni Angeles. I am working for Government of Tamil Nadu as an assistant professor of Government Law College, Chengalpet. I am specialized for environmental law, and I am also doing my PhD under bioenergy and its utilization in legal framework to control India under the supervision of Dr. Kyle Willy, who is a principal of Government Law College, Vellore. And I have taken this program with an expectation to go knowledge in environmental law that will be helpful for me in my research experience and also for my students to teach environmental law in a better manner, sir.
Thank you, Moni.
Thank you very much, sir.
Moni, but your supervisor is principal at Vilupuram, not at Vellore.
Velipuram. Thank you very much, sir.
Nikita, next is Nikita.
Good evening, Professor Shanta Kumar. Good evening, all other my colleagues. I'm audible.
Yes, Nikita.
Yeah. I am currently, so my highest qualification is LLM, but I'm pursuing my PhD in the field of climate change litigation. I've been teaching for 4 years now, of which I've taught environmental law for 2 years. My current affiliation is National Law University, Odisha. My expectation out of the course is, my short-term expectation is to able to gather something in a way that I can teach environmental law to make the students passionate and be inclined towards environmental litigation and lawyering, to be specific. And my long-term objective is to be able to develop a course on clinical education or clinical legal education pertaining to environment, as the name can be designed. That is all. Thank you.
So can we now listen to Rama Devi?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Rama Devi, and I'm currently associated to ICFI Law School, Hyderabad, and my highest qualification is PhD. My PhD topic was in international law, but when I was given the subject to teach to students, that was environmental law first. So that developed my interest to do research in environmental law as well. So basically, the expectation currently from this training program is to understand the new dimensions of international law so that I can continue my research, and also to learn new pedagogies in teaching so that I can better teach my students and get their involvement into environmental law related subject. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rama Devi. Rana Roy. Next we have Rana Roy. Rana Roy, mic.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yes.
Good evening, Professor Shanta Kumar, sir. Good evening to everyone. This is Dr. Rana Navneet Roy. I am Assistant Professor of Law in Hidayatullah National Law University, Raipur. I did my LLB and LLM from Law School, Banaras Hindu University. I completed my PhD in Environmental Law in 2019, and I have 8 years of teaching experience. And apart from other subjects, my area of interest includes environmental law as well. And I have been teaching this subject for last 5-6 years, and I always feel myself to be a student of law. And for that reason, my expectation from this program to interact with so many resource persons and to increase my knowledge of environmental law, to update myself in the field of environmental law. And I am very sure when I saw the notification of this program in my email that all the resource persons should be very good, and there is no doubt when any program is headed by Professor Shanta Kumar sir, obviously everything would be so good. So with this program, I want to just increase my knowledge of environmental law and to know more and more and how to do more research, how to do the subject more interactive, so that I could be more benefited for my students, and it is overall learning and teaching experience. So with this reason, I joined this program, and I am thankful that I have been permitted
Right.
to
Thank you.
participate.
Right. So if there is an exam, you would have got a distinction. Oh, because you have praised me a lot. So
Thank you so much, sir.
So we will move on to Rohit. Rohit is there? Rohit?
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, Rohit, we are on. Yeah.
Good evening, sir, and to all my participants and the resource persons who are.
Rohit, can you just increase your volume?
Yeah, sure. Right. So this is I'm Rohit Munka, and I have done my LLM from Gujarat National Law University and PhD from also Gujarat North Gujarat University. And my PhD and LLM topics were interdisciplinary in a sense that it was on plant variety protection vis-a-vis farmers and breeders' rights. And therein, I have also studied the biodiversity law. As a part of my LLM program, I have been to the Center for Excellence for Biodiversity Law in University of Malaya, Malaysia, and there I did my research as a part of my LLM dissertation and submitted my dissertation there. So in a way, I have been teaching the paper of IPR, especially from the point of view topics such as biodiversity law, traditional knowledge, plant variety protection, and I have also been teaching the paper of environment law since I joined the Delhi University Campus Law Center in the year 2018. Prior to that, I have taught in Nirma Institute of Law. But when I joined, yes, of course, Delhi being a place where we all are grappling with the issue of environment, and luckily I was allotted the subject. So it was, of course, a very obvious choice and inclination towards the subject. And though I have been in teaching for past 8+ years, but I am sort of a new comer when it comes to teaching environment law. For past 2 years only I am teaching this subject. But yes, I have some background, as I said, linking with intellectual property and the biodiversity law, plant variety protection, traditional knowledge. So my expectation from this course is, of course, to learn the comparative perspective, especially from South Asian perspective. Apart from that, my main motto of joining this course is to learn the pedagogy to teach a classroom of a large number of students, and that too to make the classroom teaching more engaging, especially UG students who are not researchers, like they are not as looking like researchers of a LLM or a PG level or a PhD scholars. Also, I also want how to engage the students to become a change agent, or how to make them work this paper, work this subject of environment law, not just theory, but also from the practical point of view. So how they could utilize this subject in bringing some change, because as we see in Delhi, you have multiple issues all around us, whether it is air pollution, whether it is land pollution, whether it is water pollution, Yamuna river. So how they can take up these issues and can bring some change through the instrumentality of law. So this is my expectation from the course.
Thank you, Rohit. Next, can we have Shanyoli Rakshit?
Hello. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
Hello.
yes, Shanyoli.
First of all, thank you, sir. Sir, myself, Shauli, and I am working at Rabindra Shikha Sammilani Law College under Calcutta University, and my teaching here about 3 months only, and my highest qualification LLM. Actually, I have already taught this subject in my college, so my expectation is to gain knowledge about this paper, and through this subject and this session, I can deliver a good knowledge and good lecture to my student. And another aim to join this program, mine is to join this program regarding climate change and how to solve this problem. And we all know there are so many pollutions. So I have one intention, that is I can delegates. So that women, actually those are working in the informal sector, what they faced to the environmental pollution, I can gain this knowledge through the delegates. That's my all, sir.
Thank you, Shanyoli. Thank you. Next, Shruti Kakkar. Shruti, can you switch off your, unmute yourself.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Shruti Kakkar. I was teaching for 7.5 years, and then I took a break to finish my PhD. And I was teaching for 3 years environment law, where I was exploring different pedagogies and how to, make students more interested in environment law. So, and also in my PhD topic, I'm exploring space pollution as one of the disputes which may rise in the coming future. What I look forward in this course is that how to design a curriculum which is more relevant. Like in environment law, there are many topics, but it's very difficult to touch each of those aspects. So what I want to learn is that what are those important ones which we should always touch while teaching environment law. And also, I want to learn that the different pedagogies which will make my students more interested in learning the environment law, and various dimensions which are relevant and which will be there, which we should as a teacher should teach in the class post-COVID, this post-COVID era. So all that I look forward.
Thank you, Shruti. Thank you. Simi John.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Yes, Simi, we are able to hear you.
Thank you, sir. And thank you for having me here in the first instance. Myself, I'm Simi John, and I am from Kerala, and I did my LLM from Cochin University of Science and Technology. Currently, I'm working as an assistant professor at Bharatavada School of Legal Studies, and I have been into teaching for the past 7 years. And as far as my expectation from this Train the Trainers program is concerned, I would like to improve my teaching as far as environmental law is concerned. And also, as a person from Kerala, we have not been much affected by the disasters or the natural disasters till now. But then recently by the floods, we have been devastated. And many of my students are victims of the flood. And so they have witnessed the events personally. So actually, that has kindled an interest in them to protect nature, to take care of nature. And I just want to nurture that interest. So I would like to inculcate in them an interest for environmental litigation as well as an interest for research in environment. So that is my prime intention for joining this program. It's a great platform, and I believe that students' role, they play a very decisive role as far as the building of environmental awareness is concerned. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Simi. Thank you. Shivanand Kumar.
Good evening, everyone present here. I hope I am audible to all of you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Myself, Dr. Shivanand, working as an assistant professor in School of Law, Christ University, Bangalore. I did my PhD in corporate and securities laws. I'm having more than 13 years of experience, especially commercial legislation, contracts, and companies. What I'm expecting from this course is how the corporate sector is controlling and regulating the environment in future, because directly or indirectly the governments are also supporting for their economic growth of this state, country, as well as people. That's why I'm concerned with my area, that is corporate law linked with environment. Thank you.
Thank you. So can we have Sonali Bhatnagar?
Good evening, everyone. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Sonali, yes.
Okay, so right now I'm working in MIT University, Rajasthan, as an assistant professor, and I have completed my LLM from Jagran Lake City University. It's in Bhopal. It's not in environment law, but I've done in IPR. But in last year, I was teaching environment law, and that's why I joined this program, because I really need to understand different types of methods and perspectives of teaching environment law, because I don't want my students to just understand it as a legislation. I want it more there to be an intellectual subject and to understand the current scenarios or different type of aspects which are relating to environment law. So I think that this program is going to help me in that a lot.
Thank you, Sonali. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we have Stella Joyce? Yes, Stella, yeah, you are.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Stella.
Hello.
Stella, you are audible.
Good afternoon, sir. Myself Stella Joyce. My highest degree is LLM Sorry for the disturbance. I am returning to my home, so I'm in the auto. Sorry for the disturbance. I have more than 13 years of experience in academics. One of my basic subjects being the environmental law. I am mostly inclined to teaching the subject that is of my interest, and I chose this program because it was unique to me, something new which I heard, and it's a new platform for me. So I thought I should explore myself in this new platform, equivalently improve my pedagogy and my teaching skills and my researching. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
So where are you teaching, Stella? Where did you teach? I'm sorry, I missed it. So I think we lost her. Yeah. Shyam Kumar.
Good evening to all. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, Shyam Kumar.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. So myself, Dr. Shyam Kumar R.S. I hold an LLM in Public International Law and a PhD in Environmental Law from University of Kerala. So I have something around 12 years of teaching experience and different institutions, including Kerala Law Academy, NMIMS Mumbai, and currently I am affiliated to Alliance University, Bangalore, as a professor of law. My initial expectations was related to the, because I have been teaching environmental law for quite some time now. And I find something like a gap between what we see the ideal situation, ideal teaching pedagogical situation, and what we can actually deliver and what we can attain in a real classroom situation. Because I have prepared a syllabus. We have prepared a syllabus, but we find that every passing year the syllabus is becoming so voluminous. So because new developments are occurring, so what to include, what not to include, and what kind of pedagogical approach we need to take is something like a perpetual dilemma that every environmental law teacher will be facing. That's something I am always facing. So I want to hear from the great minds here, their experience, how we can tweak the syllabus, how we can make it more relevant. So that was my initial expectation. But then again, as I was going through the program schedule, I found that there are actually experts who can actually help us, because we are planning to start a research center and a research journal specifically on environmental law here in Alliance. So if that has now become one additional something like expectation from my part, if we can get some idea regarding how to start a research center from the scratch. What are the modalities, what we can do, and what are the modalities we can follow? What are the areas we can focus on? So that will be more helpful, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, Shyam Kumar. Can we have Tony George next? Tony, we are not able to hear you. Not audible.
Sir, you're not audible. You need to increase the volume of your system, sir.
Still not able to hear you, Tony. Yeah. I think we are going to go home without hearing you. Yeah. Tony, it's very disappointing. So he had put a message on the chat that I will introduce next time. Yeah, please take it. Still, we have two more people. Please check your mic and see that what went wrong. So meanwhile, we will move on to Tripti Bhushan.
A very good morning to everyone, and so
Morning.
myself is so it's evening. I'm so sorry. Sorry. So myself is Tripti Bhuchan. Currently, I'm assistant professor in law at Kalinga University, Raipur. I did my master's in law from Hidayatullah National Law University in the field of IPR. Basically, my expectation with this program is that first of all to increase my knowledge, to update myself in terms of with the subject environmental law, and actually to develop or design a course in the field of environmental law that is moreover to student friendly, and that could actually generate the interest of student as much as possible, and also to know about the research area that is open in the field of environmental law, and to learn new techniques of teaching environmental law as a subject to my students. Thank you so much, sir. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, Vidya. Vidya.
Yes, I'm here. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this esteemed group. I'm currently working as an assistant professor at School of Law, Christ University, Bangalore. My highest degree is MPhil. I have completed from Christ University itself. From this program, I basically look forward to unlearning and learning what I've been taught or what I've been practicing in environmental law, and to learn the best techniques that I could put forward to the students and to the research community on environment from the esteemed panelists as well as my esteemed participants, which I know I will be learning a lot. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Vidya. Thank you. Matthew, I think we have come to an end. In fact, I'm really sorry. I have committed a big sin by not introducing my esteemed colleagues who are present here today from GNLU. We have with us Professor Shobhlata, who is the professor of law and head of the Center for Environmental Law, Climate Change and Sustainable Development. And we have with us Mrinali Banerjee, who is an assistant professor research associated with the same center and GNLU. So I'm sorry that I missed to introduce them at the beginning. So I think now Tony has come out with a mic.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, very well.
Yes.
I don't know what did you do outside your room.
No, I was doing something with my computer. I mean, I had attended the phone call, sir. That's the reason. So good evening, everyone.
Yes, Tony.
Perfect. Good
Now
evening.
I can sleep happily that I am able to hear you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So my name is Tony George Puducheril. My highest degree is a doctorate in law, which I took from Dalhousie Law School, Canada. And I am an associate professor at the OP Jindal Global Law School, where I teach international environmental law and water law. So these are my two areas where I teach, two subjects that I teach. And my primary purpose why I have come for this refresher course, which is the training the trainers program, is to understand national environmental law, because I feel that my understanding of national environmental law is a bit weak. So I want to augment my understanding of national environmental law, and I'm sure it will help me in my teaching. And my areas of interest, of course, it's law of the sea and maritime law and international environmental law. Thank you very much, and I hope to learn a lot from all of you. Thank you.
Thank you a lot, Tony. Thank you. I think.
Sorry?
Yes. Is there anyone? Shanyoli. Yes, Shanyoli. Yes, Shanyoli.
Sir, actually, sir, this is a big platform for everyone, I think. Sir, actually, I want to thank all of you, those who organized this program. So I am glad actually for joining this program. Thank you so much, sir.
Shanoli, you can reserve this speech for the last day. On 27th, you can thank Matthew Bird, Angelo, right, Christina, Amy, and all of us. Professor Shobhlata, Mrinalini, Dr. Nupur, and my name. We will send you a list of names to whom you should send your thank you note. Okay. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Shalini. Yes, I think.
Yes, sir. We have come to the end
Matthew,
of this.
I think we have come to an end.
Yes, sir.
Is there anything else left out?
Yeah.
Can I just first of all thank everyone. If you could go to the website, that I put the website. We do need your consent forms, as we are mostly lawyers, for videoing and audio recording. And I've also put the email address for trainthetrainersasia@gmail.com to suggest syllabus and some research. And indeed, I think I've heard a couple of people who are now on my list, potentially, if we don't get volunteers, that I would like to volunteer you for some, international environmental law or environmental law syllabus. But again, thank you very much indeed for all your interest and excitement. And I should also point out that my highest degree was a bachelor, because I was a professional lawyer, a barrister in Australia for almost 25 years. But I'm now completing my PhD on environmental impact assessment in ASEAN. So.
Yes, thank you, Matthew. Dr. Shobhlata, would you want to say a few words?
Thank you, sir. Good evening to all of you. Professor Shantakumar, Director, GNLU, Matthew Bird, Dr. Nupur, Christina ma'am, Angelo, Emmy, and Kim. Not forgetting Mrinalini. First and foremost, Shantakumar sir, I want to tell you, there's no need to say sorry. When you head an event, and such a big one, or you have got so many responsibilities, you can forget yourself. We are part of the team. We are part of the institute. So I don't think Mrinali and myself, we require a special introduction. So please don't say sorry. Please don't say a sin committed. You're always welcome. We have been a part. What I'm remembering today is 2000 at Bangalore, Sira. Thank you for giving me that remembrance. I would like to tell you one thing, friends. Such type of programs, and especially I should be very, very grateful to Matthew. The way he is, the way he's planned up the whole thing, I'm sure it has taken a huge time and lot of efforts for you to plan up in this particular manner. Because initially, when I used to do it only for the biodiversity, I know what amount of work goes in, how to get the resource persons, what to speak, how to do. So congratulations to you and a big gratitude to you. Friends, this is an event, or you can say it's an opportunity, not only to learn from the resource persons, but try to learn from your own peers. And that's where you'll be finding that you can not only improve or enhance, but you will be able to appreciate the different dimensions. Environmental law can be taken up to huge levels and huge heights. That's good. I can assure you, because that's from 1998. I'm speaking to this day. So have a wonderful time. Make the best use of this particular time. Not only keep listening, interacting, thinking, meditating over the subject, but also try and see that, as many avenues and horizons you can develop, it's wonderful.
Thank you, Shabla. Yeah.
Shantako, one more sentence.
Okay.
Corporate law can give you jam and butter. Environmental law will give you life. You'll enjoy jam and butter only if life is there. So please remember, this is the subject, whether it is law, whether it is science. It is the subject for us, especially today in the pandemic that we have suffered. Intergenerational, intragenerational equity. Thank you, Shantakumar sir.
Thank you.
And thank you the whole team of ADB. Thank you very much.
Matthew, I will explain the context of what Professor Shobhlata was explaining. in India, there is a craze for corporate law. There are no takers for environmental law if you give it as an optional subject. So when those days, when she was referring to those olden days, when environmental law was not a compulsory course, when the entire student population will very crazily move towards corporate law, then we used to discuss it at the university bodies that can we name environmental law as corporate environmental law so that we can attract more students, right? So that is the craze for corporate law. That's what she is mentioning. You know, what is more important, life or air and water or bread and butter? So that you need to decide. So thank you, Shobhlata. I think we have not requested the Kin. We have a colleague from Myanmar. Kin is there. Can I request Kin to please come on screen and introduce herself? Kin is there?
Yes, I'm here. I'm here. Namaste. I'm Kintana from Myanmar, and I'm a legal consultant, and I'm assisting Matthew. Very, very happy to be part of this program.
Thank you, Kin. Thank you so much. Thank you. And where did you learn this Namaste from? Kin?
I'm your neighbor. I'm your neighbor.
Okay. So you know Namaste. But we are very sorry, you know, we don't know what to say in Burmese. You know?
It's a Mingalaba.
Mingalaba. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
So I think we have come to an end of this introductory session, preparatory session. I know the object of this is to know each other before we get on to this actual training program. I can see Angelo now. Angelo, will you be able to show the video now, or are you planning it to show it sometime later?
We can give it a go now.
Yeah, okay, then next 4 minutes.
All right. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes, Angelo.
My hardware is not cooperating today. This is the 4th time my machine just froze up. Maybe we'll give it a go on Sunday.
Yes, a Sunday inaugural session we can reserve 4 minutes for your video.
Okay, hold on. Oh wait, sorry, it just unfroze now. Let's try giving it a go. My apologies. It's been a lot of technical gremlins. All right, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Empty screen.
Okay, great. Can everybody hear this?
Yes, yes, yes.
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 When I first heard about the TTT program, I was a bit skeptical because I thought that I'm teaching for nearly 2 decades. What else they are going to teach me? But after coming here, I'm really, really surprised that there are so many things to know and to learn and to adopt for myself.
I'm happy to report that, ever since I came back from the TTT in Manila, the number of students has increased. The first set of students which I taught in 2015 after I came back was 4 students. And the next semester, the registration went up to 30 students. That was the maximum limit. And ever since then, it was holding steady between 25 to 30. And the students themselves came back to me and said that this is the first elective subject that they have enjoyed.
And the great value that I've seen of this TTT program is really networking. They've now developed networks which have been fantastic, and they've been exposed to other environmental law professors within their region, and they're doing amazing things. What is surprising to me is that after the TTT, several of our professors started another group. That is not for the environmental teachers alone, but also for the Environmental Protection Agency, the local people who really go to the polluters to find. I never realized there were so many practical questions that has to be answered. And what chemicals is toxic, why it is toxic, what's the legal basis, how much I should find. That's also not only benefit those officials, but also benefit the teachers, because that's the real things, the real world. It's amazing. And I think the group is growing.
By focusing on training the trainers, we create the infrastructure
to ensure that this growing demand for environmental law knowledge is going to be satisfied. I think this has been probably the biggest success that the Academy has had to date, because they've succeeded in mobilizing professors from all over Asia at a time when there's such a huge demand for improving environmental law. And yet nearly all these universities lack the capacity to be able to teach environmental law because they didn't have people who had the specialized knowledge that the environmental law field requires.
After this ADB TTT program, I told my students, go to an affected area, meet the stakeholders, and find out why exactly is this problem. For example, there was a lake nearby which was being encroached by a lot of illegal occupants. So two guys went there and met the residents. They went to the elected representatives of the municipal bodies. They went to the government officials who are responsible for protecting the natural resources. So the moment when they reached the government officials, they got a point that these students are really going to make it a big issue. And therefore, the government immediately acted upon this issue, and they cleared all the encroachments and they built a wall around the lake to protect it permanently. I think this is a small victory. As a teacher, that I could inspire my students to do such a thing. The change should start from each and every one of us.
Look, it's been inspirational, frankly. I found myself totally inspired by the commitment, the enthusiasm and the capacity of the people that we've been very fortunate to locate. So we're actually building a bottom-up resource now of environmental law teachers to which we're adding all the new people that are coming in through the training, mixing with the more older, experienced teachers in their own country, and building a whole base there to carry this work on well into the future, which I think is one of the most exciting things of all, to see that this project has a lifetime, a longevity and a sustainability beyond the actual training.
So thank you, Angelo. Thank you so much. We could finally see the video as well. I was more interested in seeing me on screen. And so thank you so much. And what is the next? These are the housekeeping announcements. So the housekeeping announcements are, one is, please be punctual, log in at the right time, because when the session is on, logging in and going out and coming in, it disturbs the entire proceedings. So that is what we thought we will call all of you before the actual session to tell you, request you that please be punctual in attending these programs. It's a rare opportunity. I do not know what to say today, but I am sure that all of you will agree with me on 27th or after that. This is going to be a very rewarding experience, a very memorable experience that you are going to carry. I am sure, because I was one of the beneficiaries of one such program. In fact, Mrinalini, would you want to say something about your experience in the previous TTT that you had attended?
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. So thank you, sir, for giving me this opportunity to share my views. I believe that when in 2018, when we went for the same program, I think it's a life-changing program, because the way they teach us how to make, starting from how to make curriculums, how to engage students, what are the various techniques of teaching, and there are so innovative ways. Trust me, I wasn't knowing about that at all. Definitely, I am very new to this field at that point of time also, that I wasn't aware. But technically, what do we think? Maximum we'll prepare a PPT and we'll teach. But I'm sure after this session, it will be so enriching and many new ideas will come up. And the way we worked there offline. So we together as a team, we prepared, there were assignments, and it was something, it is like a life-changing experience, I can say. So I think everybody should take the maximum benefit out of it, like really work together. And trust me, one more thing, I actually use those study materials later to also teach my students like what I have learned there, and it was really nice. So I think everybody would do a great thing out here if they are sincere about it.
One biggest, thank you, Mrinalini. One biggest takeaway from this program is the networking, which was there mentioned in the video. In fact, the environmental law teachers who attended the earlier TTT at Colombo, we all still stay together as a family, right? So we are closely networked. Our relationships are intact. We share, birthday greetings to all important news, judgments on environmental law. And this networking, it really strengthens our relationship, gives us more and more opportunity to know and seek help whenever you want. And there is always somebody in the network who is willing to come to your rescue, who is willing to help you at any time you call them. And that is the biggest advantage of this program. I think we will be, anyway, this is a 7-day long program, very, very meticulously designed by Matthew and Nupur in designing these sessions and identifying the appropriate resource persons for this session. So I'm sure that all of you will enjoy. So when I was talking about certain housekeeping rules, number one, I said be punctual. Just try and log in 10 minutes before. That's what in your session, if you see the program, it indicates a point of time when you need to actually click the link and join it. So every day, Mrinalini will ensure that you get the link sufficiently well in advance for every day's meeting. And so please click that link and join at the appropriate time. Number one. Number two, when you are joining, please keep your cameras on, but your mics on mute mode so that it doesn't disturb when the speaker is actually speaking. So that is a meeting protocol as far as online meetings are concerned. You need to check on your screen whether your mic is on mute mode when somebody else is speaking. So you need to be very, very careful about it. And therefore, you can avoid an embarrassment, somebody calling you and telling that, hey, why don't you switch off your mic? So that is an embarrassing moment. I think we can avoid by muting ourselves whenever we are not speaking. So that is the second thing. Third is, yes, of course, you are all environmental teachers, so I don't need to say about it. So please join on time and be available on screen because if my screen is completely boxes of names, it really becomes difficult because we need to look at the eyes to actually understand the impact of our teaching. So if I can see a smile in Shruti's face, I can understand that, okay, I'm doing something good which the participants are enjoying. Otherwise, if I can see Mrinalini frowning, so I need to know that I need to stop talking at this moment. So this is, we need to look at each other to have an effective connect while discussing online. Again, get yourself familiarized with this online platform. We will be using Cisco WebEx all these 7 days. So download this app, both on the desktop as well as on the mobile phone, so that you can use the app to connect quickly. And try also understand all the features. And in fact, Matthew Baird said, how do you need to, if you want to intervene, how to click the raise the hand button. I hope all of you must have found out where the button is. I don't know the reason why Cisco has hidden this button somewhere in a very secret place. I hope all of you can, if you click the participants button at the bottom right, the list will pop up. On top of the list will be your name. And if you scroll the mouse on your name, then you will see the hand button there. You can click it to raise the hands if you want to intervene when the speaker is speaking something. Otherwise, if you don't need to intervene immediately, but you want the speaker to address something, you can put your viewpoints, your thoughts, your ideas, your questions on the chat box. And I'm sure that Matthew will be very keenly looking at all the comments that are being made in the chat box, and then he will ensure that your questions are answered at the end of every day. And interestingly, this time we have kept last 15 minutes of every day for your feedback on each of these sessions. So please feel free to give an exact feedback. You don't need to be nice to us. You don't need to, always say sweet words, all those things. Because this is a learning opportunity for we, the organizers, as well. So we need to also know which session you like the most, which session you don't like, which speaker you like, which speaker you do not like. All these things we will get to know from your honest feedback. So we would want you to give us honest feedback. That will help in improving the quality, at least if not for this program, at least the other participants in the next forthcoming TTTs will be benefited by this. So these are some of the housekeeping rules that I wanted to say before concluding this session. So is there anything, Matthew, you would like to add? Matthew, we are not able to hear you.
No, thank you, Professor. All good from me. I'll see you all again on Sunday.
So is there anything you guys want to say? Yes, Shruti, you wanted to say something? Shruti, Mike, yes.
Yeah, just one thing. I was just looking for that consent form on the website, but I couldn't find it. If
in fact, Matthew
can
sent
share
you the
it.
link.
Yeah, but that link opens the trainer's page itself. Like I couldn't exactly find the consent form.
So can you just go to the website? Angelo, you are there. Can you just show us the website where they can get all details about this program, including the learning materials, reading materials?
Yes, hold on. I'm pasting it
So
now.
can you please share on the screen the website?
So I pasted the link on the chat box, and I will also share my screen now. Can everyone see my screen? All right. So you should be able to download the consent form at the second link under preliminary materials. And when you click on it, it should open up a link to the Word file. So once you fill out the form, once you complete it, you can send it to trainthetrainersasia@gmail.com.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So can you just scroll more, Angelo, to see this page? So this is the page created for our program, which has all the details about the program. And as you can see that the third link is the compendium of reference materials. You will see a lot of essential readings, very important articles related to the topics that will be discussed. So it will be nice that if you can read and come for the session so that you will get it. And then we have published the participants directly so that now you can form yourself into a group and you can discuss amongst yourself. You can get to know the other participants better by this. And of course, the first link is the program outline, what Dr. Nupur was explaining. It's a program for all 7 days. So please review this site, look at all these materials and the forms available. And most important is don't forget to send the consent form signed. That's very important because all these meetings gets recorded. And we want your consent to have your image and your voice recorded in this program. And believe me, there is no option. We can't, for example, one of you say Shruti doesn't want her recording to be recorded. We can't do that. I don't think technology will permit us to record only what Aparajita says and what Shruti, we can't do that. So we will have to request all of you to please sign the consent form so that ADB can use the materials, whatever we discuss, for their record purposes and for putting it on their website for public consumption. So that's all from us. I think it's a long time that we had spent together. It's almost 2 hours. So thank you so much. If there are no other queries, I think we can come to an end. Any other query from anyone?
Not a query, Professor.
Yes.
A big thank you to everybody, including you and all the team, for this wonderful work and giving GNLU and our center this opportunity to work it out. Thank you very much. All the participants, all the scholars, have a wonderful time. Make the best use of it. Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody.
Thanks to all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Mrinalini, you can end the session.
Sure, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew. Thank you.